Hello, everybody. So that's it. America has a new president, and we witnessed a speech. And so today I just want to briefly talk about, I'm still on the road, but I still want to briefly talk about what are some of the implications for stocks, at least in my view. So let's go and get started. So in the speech, Trump mentioned revoking the EV mandate. And so how could that impact Tesla, right? Tesla is one of the leading stocks that I own in my portfolio. And so I wonder about that. So short term, this could be bad for Tesla, especially if there's a removal of the 7,500 credit. That could hurt Tesla in the short term. However, in the long term, I believe this is a wonderful news for Tesla because this will cement their position as the only game in town. This will, cement that market share, that 60-ish% market share that they've been having in the USA. It will cement that. GM will just drop attempts at competition, and so will Ford, and they will stick with gas cars. And eventually, when the technology of EV inevitably gets better year after year, and when they only EVs, I mean mostly EVs will drive themselves, right? It will be the only game in town for EVs. So in my view, over the long term, this is a great news for Tesla. Over the short term, there could be a bumpy road, and this could be a buying opportunity, which is also good for me because I wouldn't mind buying some more Tesla in the 300s. So revoking the EV mandate, that's fine by me. Put the competition to sleep, and that's what you do by removing that 2035 deadline. Point number 2, we mentioned about drilling for oil. If the USA is already a major exporter of oil, it already does tons of drilling. Could we do more drilling? Probably. West Texas is a huge port. All of the northern parts of the US is huge on oil. What that means for stocks, though. What does it mean for stocks? Well, oil is a commodity, is going to continue to be a commodity. I think I will continue to stay away from oil because the prices will be down. The more you drill, the more the prices are down. Although getting more energy, I think, is good for AI. I think it's good because energy is fungible, and so if we increase oil in the energy mix, then that means that you're rerouting more electricity for AI. So more energy in general is what we need, and so this is a good thing for at a second level of analysis, right? For AI applications and all these energy needs, this is a good thing. As far as investing goes, to me, that means still staying away from oil stocks, still staying away from anything related to oil because we're just going to dig more out of the ground. And so that's not going to go up in price. And so that's why it's not the wisest investment in my view. Point number 3 is the tariffs. So he talked about tariffs. External revenue service, creating the external revenue service to collect tariffs is what he talked about. This is often a negotiation tactic with Trump. We've seen that before. Not just Trump, by the way. You may remember the Obama years with the steel dumping. Tariff have always been part of negotiation tactics. But it's true that Trump has put them before. And so if he doesn't get his way, we may see some tariff. Historically, for tariffs, this is what I've seen it go, is you'll have the supplier take on some of that tariff by dropping their price. You'll have the importer, the seller, the Walmart in the USA dropping the margin a little bit. And the last third is typically the customer ends up paying a little more. But, it's not true to say that it's the customer who takes on and pays for everything, and it's not true to say that it's the exporter who pays for everything. The tariff typically gets divided up among multiple things. There is, however, a wild card with tariff, which is what if China devalues the currency in order to make up for the tariff? Well, if they do that might not have the greatest impact. They'll just devalue the currency in order to be able to sell stuff. I also want to say with tariffs, a lot of companies are anticipating this, and so they've shipped a lot of goods the past 3 months in anticipation of this. And so this would have a more of a medium-term impact, not an immediate impact, because companies have a lot of stock right now in anticipation of these tariffs. But that's the implication for stocks. So keep that in mind. Maybe if a stock drops on tariff fears, maybe that stock drops a little more than it should, is kind of the way I look at it for tariffs. Let's talk about DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. So what could this have? What could implications this have? Well, it could be both good and bad for macro. So for macro, it could be bad for GDP because you have less people with jobs, if there's people losing their jobs, etc. But it could be good for stocks, and it could be good for the Fed mandate, because if you have massive layoffs in the government, that would be an increase in unemployment, which would mean that the Fed would want to drop the rates because the Fed has a mandate to keep unemployment low. So again, this one is a mixed bag. Over the long term, I think it's a very good thing. Over the short term, you could have some implications for GDP, some negative implications for GDP, but over the long run, I think this is a good thing. Now, space, I only see goodness for stocks and Trump's support to space. It's also space as a new frontier. If you saw that speech, could be good for Rocket Lab, although Rocket Lab has had an outstanding performance lately. SpaceX too, in private valuation, has had an outstanding performance. Most of my SpaceX exposure is through Google. Don't forget, Google owns 7-ish% of SpaceX, so that's a quite an outstanding exposure. Trump is a space enthusiast, so I can expect that he will facilitate a lot of the space exploration and a lot of the space stocks. So again, if we have exposure to either Rocket Lab or SpaceX, it should be good. If you remember back in the day, there was much laughter about that, but he created the Space Force, and the guy likes space, and he hangs out with Musk, and I don't know if they talk more about EVs or if they talk more about space, but it seems to me like they talk about space. And lastly, Bitcoin and crypto. So for that, we wait. There was no discussion of a Bitcoin reserve in the speech, so we don't know. But today is going to be a long day with a lot of news, so we wait on that. I had said in my prior video, I think the three Ross, the Ross Ulbricht, I think that could be one of the first day actions. And then for the actual reserve, that would be more of a first 100 day if that were to happen, in my view. I don't think that's going to happen the first day because you need to have more specifics. That's just my take on this. So hopefully this helps out some of the implications for stocks here. As always, this was not financial advice, not investment advice. This is just entertainment. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful day.